Hello and welcome to Healthy Aging Blueprint. I'm truly grateful you're here. On this channel, we explore simple, powerful ways to care for your body, nurture your mind, and live with purpose at every stage of life. Wherever you're watching from, I wish you good health, peace, and lasting happiness. If you find value in today's video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a step on your journey to aging well. Have you ever wondered why some women start to notice a lingering scent as they age, even when they maintain a daily hygiene routine? What if your go-to bathroom habits, the ones you've trusted for years, are secretly working against you? And what if the solution isn't more products, but actually less? If these questions caught your attention, you're in the right place. In this video, we're unpacking 8 surprising bathroom habits that doctors say could actually make older women smell worse, despite doing their best to stay clean. This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness, empowerment, and making informed choices. Stick around until the very end, because we'll also reveal simple, practical tips that help you stay fresh, confident, and connected to your body. Because every woman deserves to feel vibrant and radiant at any stage of life. Before we dive in, if you find value in these insights, please consider liking this video. Your support helps us continue sharing important health lessons for aging gracefully. And if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and tap that button and ring the bell so you never miss a new release. Let's get started. Part 1. Using too much soap. Down there. Ladies, can I share something personal that completely shifted the way I think about hygiene? Back when I was younger, I tackled every shower like it was a deep cleaning mission. I'd lather up from head to toe with the most fragrant soaps I could find, especially targeting my intimate areas with determination, scrubbing with the belief that squeaky clean meant truly clean. To be honest, I thought the more soap I used, the fresher I'd feel. And with all those floral-scented feminine hygiene products flooding store shelves, how could I think otherwise? They seemed to promise purity, confidence, and that elusive, just showered scent. But here's the truth. No one told me I was overdoing it. Not my mom, not my girlfriends, not even my doctor, until years later. What I thought was a self-care ritual was actually disrupting the natural balance of my body, causing more harm than good. The reality is that our intimate areas are incredibly sophisticated in their natural ability to take care of themselves. The vaginal environment is a finely tuned ecosystem designed to regulate itself without our interference. With a natural pH typically ranging between 3.8 and 4.5 and a balance of beneficial bacteria, this system works around the clock to ward off infections, reduce odor, and maintain internal health. Think of it as a symphony where each part plays in perfect harmony until something comes in and knocks the instruments out of tune. Unfortunately, that something is often our own well-meaning hygiene habits. When we introduce scented soaps, body washes with alcohol, or even products marketed as gentle feminine cleansers, we unknowingly disrupt this delicate balance. These products, though marketed for cleanliness, can strip away the good bacteria your body relies on, disturb the natural acidity, and create the perfect environment for harmful bacteria or yeast to flourish. What follows? Often, it's irritation, persistent odor, or uncomfortable infections like bacterial vaginosis or yeast infections. Not because you weren't clean, but because your body's balance was upset by too much cleansing. I speak from experience. For years, I dealt with recurring discomfort and couldn't understand why my efforts to feel fresh seemed to keep backfiring. I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to, using the top-rated products, staying consistent, being diligent. But it wasn't until a heartfelt, eye-opening conversation with my gynecologist that I finally understood. The vagina is self-cleaning. It doesn't need internal scrubbing or perfumed help. It simply needs us to let it do its job. Internally, the vaginal canal naturally produces mucus that clears away dead cells and bacteria, keeping everything in order. As for the external area, the vulva, warm water is often all you need. If you feel better using a cleanser, choose one that's pH balanced, fragrance-free, and specifically designed for intimate care. And remember, use it sparingly, and only on the outer skin, never inside. As for things like wipes, sprays, or perfumed washes that promise freshness, they're often doing more harm than good. Products like scented wipes, sprays, or douches may promise a refreshing feeling, but more often than not, they contain harsh irritants that disrupt your body's natural chemistry. These substances can lead to uncomfortable dryness, persistent itching, and in some cases, even more serious issues. So what's the best approach? Trust in your body's design. It knows how to maintain balance far better than any product off a store shelf. The less you interfere, the better you'll feel. Cleaner, healthier, and more in sync with your natural rhythm. And here's something to keep in mind. If you experience ongoing discomfort or a persistent odor, don't rush to grab stronger soaps. Instead, reach out to a healthcare provider. There may be an underlying issue that needs professional attention. Let your body speak, and when it does, don't silence it with chemicals. Listen. Now let's move to part 2, not washing your towels often enough. It's something so ordinary, yet so overlooked. When was the last time you washed your bath towel? Do you remember, or do you have to stop and think? You're not alone. I used to be guilty of this myself. For years, I hung my towel in the bathroom, telling myself it was still clean because I used it right after showering. After all, if my body was clean, then surely the towel stayed clean too, right? Wrong. It wasn't until I began noticing a lingering musty smell on my skin, even after showering, that I realized something was off. That smell wasn't from my body. It was coming from the towel. And what I learned next completely changed how I saw my hygiene routine. Bath towels are like sponges for moisture, and moisture attracts bacteria. Add in the warmth and humidity of a bathroom, especially one with poor ventilation, and you've created the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, mold, and mildew. Every time you dry off and rehang that towel, you're essentially reapplying those microbes back onto your clean skin. It's like wiping down your fresh car with a dirty rag. It looks clean, but you're spreading unseen grime. I used to reuse the same towel for a whole week in an effort to conserve water. I thought I was being responsible, but in truth, I was unknowingly compromising the health of my skin. That damp towel? It was sabotaging all my other efforts to stay fresh. Dermatologists suggest washing bath towels every 3 to 4 uses, but if you live in a humid climate, or your bathroom lacks good airflow, think no windows or a weak exhaust fan, it's better to wash them even more frequently. In such cases, replacing your towel after just 2 uses can make a big difference. To stay on top of it, try a simple towel rotation system. Keep 3 towels on hand, one you're currently using, one that's drying after being washed, and one that's clean and ready for the next round. This way, you're never left scrambling or tempted to grab a damp, questionable towel. One extra tip that made a surprising difference. Make sure your towel dries completely between uses. It may sound trivial, but it's essential. Instead of tossing it over the edge of the tub or bunching it up on a hook, spread it out fully on a towel rack so it has room to breathe. If your bathroom is usually humid or poorly ventilated, consider investing in a small dehumidifier. It's a small upgrade that can dramatically reduce moisture, mildew, and that musty odor we all dread. Since I started washing my towels more frequently and letting them dry properly, I've noticed a huge shift. My skin feels cleaner, my bathroom smells fresher, and that lingering towel odor? Completely gone. Sometimes the simplest changes bring the biggest rewards. Now, if you're still here with me and finding these lessons valuable, drop a number 1 in the comments below. I'd love to know you're still watching and learning alongside me. I truly appreciate your time and attention. Let's move on to part 3. Ignoring your feet. Let's be honest for a second. Feet aren't exactly the star of anyone's self-care routine. They're tucked away in socks, hidden in shoes, and rarely get more than a passing glance unless there's a problem. I'll admit it, I used to completely overlook mine. During showers, I would just let the water run over them, maybe swipe once with a soapy washcloth and call it a day. I figured if they weren't visibly dirty or smelly, they didn't need much attention. But as time passed, I began to notice something unsettling. Even on days when I hadn't exercised or broken a sweat, I'd catch a sour, unpleasant odor rising from my shoes. It was embarrassing and baffling. I wondered, how could my feet be the culprit when I thought I was keeping them clean? The truth revealed itself through a bit of research and a candid conversation with my podiatrist. As we age, the natural shedding of skin slows down. When we're younger, our skin efficiently renews itself, sloughing off dead cells regularly. But with age, that process becomes sluggish. Dead skin builds up, especially around the heels and between the toes, and becomes a buffet for odor-causing bacteria. Add to that the fact that feet contain over 250,000 sweat glands. Yes, really. And it's no surprise that without proper care, odor becomes an issue. My quick rinse routine wasn't enough. I was unknowingly letting a combination of sweat, dead skin, and trapped moisture turn my feet into a hidden source of funk. Since then, I've made foot care a non-negotiable part of my shower routine. Every day, I spend a full minute giving my feet the attention they deserve. I now use a soft washcloth and a mild, fragrance-free soap to gently scrub every part of my feet, giving special attention to the soles, the heels, and, yes, between the toes, where moisture and bacteria love to settle in and hide. It might seem like a small act, but it makes a world of difference. A pumice stone or foot file can be helpful to slough off dead skin buildup, but I've learned to use them only once a week. Why? Because overdoing it can cause irritation or even tiny cuts, which become perfect entry points for bacteria. But the real game changer for me? Thorough drying. After washing, I take a clean, dry towel and carefully pat my feet dry, especially between the toes. No moisture left behind means no opportunity for bacteria or fungi to thrive. And during the warmer months, or any time I know I'll be in closed-toe shoes for hours, I add a light dusting of antifungal foot powder to my socks or directly into my shoes. It's a preventive step that keeps everything dry, fresh, and odor-free. Taking care of your feet isn't just about eliminating smell. It's about honoring the body parts that carry you, quite literally, through life. Ignoring them can lead to cracked heels, athlete's foot, or even more serious infections. For anyone managing diabetes or other conditions that affect circulation and healing, foot care becomes even more crucial. So let's shift our perspective. Instead of viewing foot care as a chore, think of it as a small act of self-respect. A few extra minutes in the shower, a consistent drying routine, and an occasional pampering foot soak or moisturizer can keep your feet not only looking better, but feeling better too. They're the foundation of your body and your confidence. Now, let's transition into part 4, leaving the toilet lid open when flushing. At first glance, this might seem like one of those quirky health tips you scroll past on social media. I mean, what harm can a little flush do, right? But here's where science steps in, and it's more unsettling than you might expect. Flushing the toilet with the lid up sets off what researchers refer to as a toilet plume. That's not just a dramatic phrase. It's a real, measurable phenomenon where tiny, invisible droplets are launched into the air, carrying with them bacteria, viruses, and microscopic waste particles. These aerosols can travel up to 6 feet or more and remain suspended in the air for minutes, even hours. Now pause for a moment and think. What's within 6 feet of your toilet? Your toothbrush, your towels, maybe the sink where you wash your face? That invisible mist doesn't just vanish, it settles. And what it settles on could very well end up coming into contact with your body. Those tiny droplets don't just disappear into thin air, they settle all across your bathroom, Your toothbrush sitting innocently on the counter. It could be coded. Your hairbrush, your towel, even the skincare products you lovingly apply each day. All of them become fair game. And if you're standing nearby when the flush happens, those particles could land directly on your skin, or worse, be inhaled. What makes matters even more concerning is the presence of chemical products. Air fresheners, scented toilet bowl cleaners, and similar items may seem harmless, but when the toilet plume kicks in, it doesn't just carry biological contaminants, it can disperse chemical residues as well. This creates a lingering mist of potential irritants that you end up breathing or absorbing through your skin. It's like an invisible cloud that turns your bathroom into a subtle but significant hygiene hazard. Now for the good news, there's a ridiculously easy fix. Always close the toilet lid before flushing. That one simple habit makes a world of difference. Since I made this change myself, I've noticed my bathroom stays fresher, cleaner, and free from those odd smells that sometimes seem to appear out of nowhere. And no, it's not just about the gross out factor, though that's certainly motivating enough. It's about stopping the spread of bacteria, avoiding chemical exposure, and maintaining an environment that feels truly clean. Even in a bathroom that looks spotless, invisible contaminants can accumulate. Closing the lid helps ensure they stay out of the air, off your skin, and away from your essentials. Think about it this way. The cleanest bathrooms aren't just the ones that look nice. They're the ones that don't smell like anything at all. Because the odors and particles you'd normally notice, they never had a chance to settle in the first place. If you're still here and finding these insights helpful, go ahead and comment number 2 below, so I know you're still watching with me. I appreciate your time more than you know. Now, part 5. Wearing the same underwear to bed. Let's be honest, this is a habit that many of us have been guilty of, myself included. Picture this. It's the end of a long day, and you've slipped into your favorite cozy pajamas, ready to unwind. You pause and think, do I really need to change my underwear? I've barely done anything today. I've just been lounging. It feels harmless, right? But here's the truth. It's not as innocent as it seems. That small decision, made in the name of comfort or convenience, could be quietly undermining your hygiene, especially as we get older. Throughout the day, our bodies produce sweat, natural oils, and shed skin cells. All of that gets absorbed by the fabric of our underwear. And when we wear the same pair into the night, we're allowing that buildup to remain in close contact with sensitive areas for even longer. Even if we're not sweating heavily or exercising, our underwear still collects natural oils, moisture, and bacteria throughout the day. Skin cells shed, and those microscopic elements get trapped in the fabric. When you slip into bed wearing the same pair you had on all day, you're essentially sealing that cocktail of sweat, bacteria, and debris against your skin for 8 hours or more. In a warm, dark, enclosed environment like that, bacteria have the perfect opportunity to multiply, and that's when unpleasant odors begin to develop. This issue becomes even more common when wearing underwear made from synthetic materials like polyester, nylon, or spandex. These fabrics may feel smooth or stretchy, but they don't allow your skin to breathe the way natural fibers like cotton do. Over time, the trapped moisture and reduced ventilation can lead to irritation, itching, or even minor infections. So, what's the better option? Health experts and dermatologists suggest changing into a fresh, clean pair of underwear before bed. It's a simple switch that pays off. And for those who feel comfortable going commando at night, it can be even more beneficial. Sleeping without underwear gives your skin a break from friction and moisture, encouraging airflow and reducing the risk of irritation. It's one of those little changes that feels both freeing and unexpectedly luxurious. Since incorporating this habit into my own routine, I've noticed subtle but meaningful improvements. My skin feels better, there's no lingering odor, and I wake up feeling fresher, like my body had a chance to truly reset overnight. Sometimes, it's the smallest tweaks that offer the greatest comfort. Now, let's talk about something many of us completely overlook. Part 6. Not cleaning the trash bin in the bathroom. I'll admit it, This used to be one of those blind spots in my cleaning routine. I had a small bin with a lid tucked beside the toilet, just like most people. It was where I tossed used tissues, cotton pads, swabs, and hygiene products. My method was simple. Wait until it filled up, then empty it. That's it. I never really gave it another thought. But here's what I didn't realize. This tiny trash bin can quietly become one of the dirtiest spots in your bathroom. Even if it looks harmless, it can harbor bacteria and stubborn odors. Why? Because it's the perfect collection zone for damp, used, and sometimes organic materials that break down quickly. That cotton pad with makeup residue, that used hygiene product, they don't just sit there, they start to decompose. And when they do, they release odors and bacteria into the air. Stay tuned. I'll show you exactly how to clean and manage your bathroom bin properly in the next section. It might be one of the easiest hygiene upgrades you've never considered. Let's keep going. Every time we toss a used tissue or a damp hygiene product into that little bathroom bin, we're also introducing small amounts of moisture and organic matter. Now, imagine all those elements trapped in a lidded space where air barely circulates. It's not hard to see how that enclosed, humid environment becomes a breeding ground for bacteria and even mold. Over time, these microbes contribute to a faint but lingering sour or musty odor that spreads throughout the bathroom, even if your counters, sink, and toilet are spotless. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out why my bathroom didn't smell completely fresh, despite regular cleaning. It was subtle, but something felt off. It wasn't until I took a closer look at the bin, yes, the humble trash bin, that I discovered the culprit. We often ignore it because it's not visually dirty. But once I began to pay attention, I realized how much impact it had on the overall cleanliness and atmosphere of the space. The solution? It's refreshingly simple and takes barely any time. These days, I make it a habit to empty the bin every few days, even if it's not full. Once a week, I take things a step further. I give the bin a quick wipe down with a disinfectant spray or a natural vinegar-based cleaner to remove any lingering bacteria or odor-causing residue. It takes only a couple of minutes, but the payoff is immediate. For a little extra freshness, I sprinkle a bit of baking soda at the bottom of the bin, or add a few drops of essential oil on a cotton pad. It's a subtle touch, but it keeps the area smelling clean and crisp between deep cleanse. Since adopting this routine, my bathroom has genuinely felt more inviting. I've even had guests comment on how fresh the space smells, something I never expected from such a small change. It's funny how one overlooked detail can make all the difference. A clean bathroom bin might seem insignificant, but it's one of those little behind-the-scenes habits that transforms your environment in a big way. Now, let's move into part 7, using old or unwashed bathrobes. Picture this. You've just stepped out of a warm, luxurious shower. Your skin feels fresh, your pores are open, and there's a quiet satisfaction that comes with being clean. You reach for your favorite bathrobe, the one that's hung on the back of your door for weeks, maybe longer. You wrap yourself in it like it's a familiar hug. It's soft, cozy, and part of your routine. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, when was the last time you washed it? It might feel cozy and familiar, but here's a question that might give you pause. When was the last time you actually washed that bathrobe? If you're anything like I used to be, your answer might be a sheepish, I don't remember. It's surprisingly common. Bathrobes have a clever way of fooling us. Since we only slip into them after we've cleaned ourselves, they feel clean, like an extension of our fresh out of the shower moment. But let's be honest, does feeling clean mean it actually is? Let's break it down. When you step out of the shower, your skin is still damp. That moisture transfers straight into the fabric the moment you wrap your robe around yourself. Now, if that robe doesn't get the chance to fully air out, maybe it's left scrunched up on a hook, tossed behind a door, or left in a corner with little airflow, you're inviting trouble. The dampness doesn't just disappear. It settles deep into the fibers and lingers there, creating the ideal breeding ground for bacteria, mold, and mildew. Over time, this once cozy garment starts to betray you. A faint, musty smell begins to develop. Subtle at first, but unmistakable. You might notice a strange odor on your skin after getting dressed, even though you just finished showering. You start second-guessing your soap, your deodorant, or even your laundry detergent. But the real culprit? That unwashed bathrobe. It clings to your clean skin and quietly undermines all your hygiene efforts. Fortunately, the fix is both simple and satisfying. Once I understood what was going on, I made a commitment. Wash the robe weekly, no exceptions. To make this a sustainable habit, I bought a second bathrobe so I could rotate them. One stays in use while the other gets washed and dried, and it's made the process feel effortless. When it comes to drying, I stopped tossing my robe in dark corners or damp hooks. Now I hang it on an open rack in a spot with good ventilation, any place where air can circulate freely. A robe that dries properly is far less likely to trap moisture, smell musty, or harbor any of the invisible grime we're trying to avoid. And let me tell you, the difference is amazing. My robe now smells like fresh laundry, clean, crisp, and comforting. Instead of wrapping myself in something that might be clean, I wrap myself in something I know is clean. It changes the whole post-shower experience. That first moment when you step into your robe feels even more refreshing and restorative. Trust me, once you start this habit, you'll wonder why you waited so long. Your skin will thank you, your bathroom will smell better, and you'll feel genuinely fresh, down to the last detail. Ready for part 8? Let's dive into another habit that often flies under the radar, but can have a surprising impact on your overall hygiene and well-being. Once you make the switch, you won't want to return to the days of the "I'll wash it eventually" bathrobe. Trust me, it's a small change that makes a surprisingly big impact. If you're still watching and finding these lessons helpful, please take a moment to comment number 3 below. That way, I'll know you're still here with me. Thank you so much for your time and for being part of this journey. Part 8. Forgetting to clean under your arms after shaving now. This next hygiene tip completely caught me off guard. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it surprises you too. Like many others, I used to think that shaving my underarms was practically a shortcut to staying cleaner and smelling fresher. After all, removing the hair means there's less surface area for sweat, bacteria, or odor to cling to, right? Well, in theory, yes. But there's an important step I was overlooking, and it turns out it makes a huge difference in underarm hygiene. Here's what I learned. When you shave your underarms, you're not just trimming away hair. That razor acts like a mini exfoliator. It scrapes off dead skin cells, leftover deodorant, sweat residue, and even some of the natural bacteria that live on your skin. At first, that sounds great, almost like a built-in cleaning process, doesn't it? But here's the catch. All of that debris, those loosened skin cells, tiny bits of old deodorant, and agitated bacteria, don't just vanish into thin air. They settle right back onto your skin unless you take an extra step to wash them away. It's almost like sweeping your floor but never picking up the dust pile. The result? You might actually experience more irritation, clogged pores, or persistent odor, even though you just shaved and thought you were being extra clean. I realized I was missing a simple but crucial post-shaving step, thoroughly cleansing the underarm area right after shaving. Using a mild, fragrance-free antibacterial cleanser and warm water, I now gently wash the area to remove all the debris that the razor stirs up. It only takes a moment, but the difference is noticeable. No more lingering residue, and my skin feels calmer and smoother, less prone to itchiness or bumps. It's a subtle tweak in routine, but it adds another layer of freshness and helps your deodorant work more effectively afterward. So the next time you reach for that razor, don't forget the follow-up. A quick rinse and cleanse can be the key to truly fresh, healthy underarms. Ready for the next part? Let's keep going. Your body will thank you for every small change you make. Bacteria doesn't just vanish into thin air after shaving. It sticks around. Especially in freshly shaved underarms, it can linger on the skin, hiding in tiny creases and pores unless you take that crucial extra step to wash it away. If left behind, this mix of dead skin, sweat, and deodorant residue becomes the perfect environment for odor-causing bacteria to thrive. Ironically, all that effort to feel fresher can end up working against you. Experts in dermatology and personal hygiene consistently highlight this one fact. Your underarms are among the most bacteria-prone zones on your entire body. It's warm, it's moist, and it's often covered, making it a 5-star resort for microbes. While shaving can help reduce odor by removing hair that traps sweat and bacteria, it also disrupts the surface of your skin, making it even more important to follow up with the right cleansing step. So what's the solution? Fortunately, it's simple, but it does require a bit of intentionality. Right after shaving, rinse your underarms thoroughly with warm water. This step helps remove the stirred-up debris and residue. Then, take a soft, clean washcloth and gently wipe the area. No harsh scrubbing needed, especially since your skin is more sensitive post-shave. This gentle cleanse clears away anything your razor left behind, creating a truly clean slate. After rinsing, pat the area completely dry with a fresh towel. And here's a pro tip. Give your skin a few minutes to breathe before applying deodorant or antiperspirant. Personally, I use that time to do my facial skincare routine, cleanser, toner, moisturizer, while my underarms air out. That short pause makes a noticeable difference. Ever since incorporating this into my daily routine, I've felt a deeper level of freshness that lasts longer into the day. That stubborn odor that used to sneak up on me even after shaving, completely gone. Replacing it is a sense of confidence and comfort, knowing I've covered every detail of my hygiene routine. By adding this quick but essential post-shave cleanse, you'll unlock a level of freshness you didn't even realize was missing. It's a tiny effort with a big, satisfying payoff. Wishing you continued health, happiness, and peace. And don't forget to subscribe to Healthy Aging Blueprint so we can keep growing stronger and wiser together.